Hi Gemini, it's Jess here with your 2020 reading. We'll see what is going on for you. Of course, if you do find this video at a time other than June 2020, it is my hope and intention that this will resonate with you whenever it is that you find it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dip into our energy for this month. Okay, sure. Okay, so Gemini, really quick, I have been starting this off by reading a quote from my 1 Year Wiser book for June. Actually, two quotes, because there's two here. So yeah, we have: one sees clearly only with the heart. Anything essential is invisible to the eyes. Antonin de Saint-Exupéry. And we also have: we can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or rejoice because thorn bushes have roses. Abraham Lincoln. So, first of all, Aries had this moon card come out as well. So if you have some Aries in your chart, or you're dealing with an Aries, maybe you want to check that video out. So let's unpack this here. Now, I do see that you are dealing with a lot of anxiety this month, Gemini, with the Nine of Swords coming out. But there is a new day dawning here, and that's with the promise of your outcome cards, which we'll unpack here in just a second. So I do see that you are struggling with your anxiety. You're very much internal this month. For some of you guys, you are healers, you're working with your hands here, or you are channeling some kind of energy, you're working in spirituality. And the reason I say that is because you have the Liberator card here with light attributes, freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs and releasing negative thought patterns. So I definitely see that you are, I feel like, I want to say channeling, like you are starting to share, you might be sharing spiritual information, you might be helping people pick apart their psyches, look at the cycles of their life, explore their childhood issues and wounds. You're showing up in Pushya energy here. I always get Pushya with this card because of like the way that the figure is set up here. But I feel like you're holding yourself back and you're bridled for some kind of reason. And that's where the prostitute card comes in. And I haven't been pulling two cards. Like, these both fell out. And a lot of times when I do the two cards, I take the shadow attribute of the second, which is what I want to do right now. So the prostitute card is places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. So you might be having some kind of financial issue, some kind of financial restriction, and it might be something that is weighing heavily on your mind and causing you some kind of anxiety here. So it's interesting, you have this dichotomy of like trying to be a liberator by freeing yourself and others from these outmoded beliefs or patterns, especially in the realm of thought, because moon in Vedic represents our mind, like it represents emotions. And I feel like your emotions this month, they're always anybody watch Dr. Mike on YouTube? Shout out. He just his latest video of how to succeed in quarantine, he opens it by saying like he wishes that mind and body were one word because they're so intertwined. So definitely pay attention to like how much water you're drinking, how you're eating, your daily cycles, your daily habits, because it's impacting your psyche this month, Gemini, and it's maybe causing you some kind of anxiety to come up. And I just feel like you have all these ideas. Like, notice she's got all these books down here. You have all these ideas and all these things that you're trying to do. You could be taking in a lot of information from outside of you, and it's leaving you feeling very depleted. I'm just seeing you feeling very depleted because you feel maybe you're connecting with your soul mission or something. And maybe this month you feel that you need to worry about like some kind of monetary consideration above your own self-empowerment. I feel like you're sacrificing yourself for whatever this is that you're doing. A lot of you guys are healers, or you work in spirituality, or like your work is draining you and then you're doing something else on the side, and then it's just really draining you, and you're having to really negotiate between those two things. Now, why is this coming out this month? We have the Eight of Swords. This is trying to get you to liberate yourself and free yourself from these outmoded beliefs and releasing your negative thought patterns. You are in a state of learned helplessness, and I'm not trying to put the blame on you here. We all have these things from our childhood that we were put there by our karma and things that we experienced or examined in the world and internalized before we. The moon is such an instinctive energy, and it's so related to childhood. So before you really had your defenses up, right? The moon is such a vulnerable card, and I feel like this is all coming to the surface, and you might feel really vulnerable and kind of delicate this month, Gemini. Yeah, because with the Eight of Swords, it's like you have the ability to break free, and you're working on breaking free here. And there's something about money that's holding you back. Like your considerations about money are holding you back from like unleashing and releasing old patterns and beliefs here. And it's causing you a lot of anxiety because I feel like you feel pulled in two directions. But pay attention to your mental thought patterns, because it's that's like really keeping you stuck. Oh my gosh, like Gemini is an air sign, of course. We have 3 swords cards that just came out the gate, and they're the most painful ones. 9 of Swords, 8 of Swords, 10 of Swords. And obviously these are out of order, but 8, 9, 10. I mean, you're going right up there. Now, the way that this is going to show up in your life is with the 10 of Swords. Now, the 10 of Swords can talk about a lot of times torture or hysteria, and just with the learned helplessness card, I feel like there's some things, it's like it's telling you that the way you are looking at the world, your world view, your world outlook is causing you a lot of pain in some area, and it's keeping you trapped. And so there's some kind of ending, these outmoded beliefs that you need to be liberated from, and I feel like you're really clinging to it, right? And this learned helplessness card, right? The psychology experiment that everybody cites with the learned helplessness is the dogs. Like, they had this cage. Psychology is riddled with terrible stories, you guys. Let me just warn you. So, like, they put dogs in these cages that had floors that they could run an electrical shock through. And they were doing that. And so the dogs learned to, like, move their feet and yelp and everything. And then when they removed it, and there was like another side that the dog could go to, they had been shocked so many times that they didn't go over to the side that would have liberated them. So you're releasing old patterns, habitual patterns from childhood, maybe that you learned from your mother, and that's going to depend like on your gender or on what gender you identify with most. As like, is your mother, that's something to pick apart, is like, is your mother your behavioral model or your relational model? How does this show up in your life? I kind of feel like for most of you, this is going to be a behavioral model situation, something you learned from your mother. I feel like you're breaking family curses and like old family patterns that you just kind of picked up without even realizing it. But you are trying to break free here, Gemini, and that's the beautiful part of this. And let me just, before we get into any more heartbreak, I just want you to know that the highest vibrational outcome of this month is the Queen of Pentacles. You manifesting the life that you want, you manifesting stability, wealth, and being like, because money is coming up here with the shadow attribute. Places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. Maybe you feel so vulnerable this month, and it's tied maybe to your money, and so then you self-sabotage. And you self-sabotage through your anxiety and through your negative thought patterns. But you have the ability to emerge wiser, to emerge more steady. Somebody who has possibly figured out their money situation at the end of this month. And the way that you can lean into this energy is by being reflective with the Hermit card and turning these lessons, turning this anxiety into wisdom. And what's interesting is like Gemini, right, is ruled by Mercury, but your fellow sign with Virgo that's also ruled by Mercury is grounded. It's more grounded. So you're learning how to channel that mercurial energy that can be kind of airy-fairy and up in your mind and is playing games with your mind. You're grounding it down. Like if you lean into the earth element and focus on just being steady. Again, focus on your routines, focused on your daily habits, focused on the things that you're eating, focus on getting outside, getting some fresh air. If you really just focus on being steady and calm, you can transform this energy this month. I really do feel like you're right there, because you have, again, the 8, the 9, and the 10 of Swords. It's like you guys probably have been working on this and revisiting this for a while, right? Spirituality, the path is a circle, and we have the moon card here talking about cycles. So there could be something dealing with moon cycles for you this month as well, something to pay attention to, and just how connected you are to the wholeness of all things here. Oh my gosh, I think it was today, so I'm shooting this on the 25th. Give me a second, because I want to read this quote to you. I'm pretty sure this is where I saw it. One moment. Yes. Okay, this quote, "You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, and whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should." Max Ehrman. So you have your place in this, is what the moon is saying. Like, you belong here. This is all, everything is unfolding as it should. You are learning the lessons that you're supposed to learn. You're untying the knots that you're supposed to untie. You're exactly where you need to be. Now, who else is involved in this? With the Ten of Cups, this involves family. This involves some kind of group of people that are very, very close to you, that are a part of your daily habits, family that you grew up with, family that, like, you know, your parental figures for sure. This is showing up, or people that, you know, like your husbands, your wives, your partners, your people that you're currently living with and really vibe with, you know, because they want to help you. You might actually be kind of a lone wolf here with the Pusha, with the Saturn, because Saturn can be kind of, oh my gosh, wow, with the plane. I'm going to take that as part of my personal practice and keep going. So yeah, there's a bit of like unpacking these childhood wounds, you know, and or your romantic relationships, you know, and your own joy and fulfillment, and considering what makes you happy. Also focusing on your joy, because that's where all of this healing energy comes from, is when you are happy and you're feeling free, right? The obstacle this month is the Knight of Wands. You want to take action. It's difficult for you to sit and be reflective, for you to understand like that these negative thought patterns that come up are just that, anxiety, negative thought patterns, something that needs to be let go of, with the crow here, and composted without all this hysteria, because I just feel like you're really clinging to this and you're causing yourself more pain than is actually there, you know? So yeah, just like also be going within yourself. Like, I feel like like all this anxiety energy is coming in because you're being very permeable with the moon. You're being you're allowing people to write upon you, because the moon doesn't create its own light. It reflects the light of the sun. So you are being in this state where you're trying to liberate yourself from being a dumping ground for everyone's opinions. Not everybody gets a say in your life, and that's okay. Firming up your boundaries is coming through really strong, especially with the Hermit. You guys, I'm really like, if you can get out in the middle of nature where there's nobody for miles and you can see the stars and just light a fire and just be by yourself, I feel like that's really going to be healing for you, just to get in touch with yourself, just to reintroduce you to yourself, why you love the things that you love, and that wellspring that is the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, that will always be there to guide you. So I see this being a bit of a tough month for you, like unpacking these deep wounds. What better time to do it than we're moving into Cancer season, and you have the moon here as your totem. Ashleisha is the Mercury ruled nakshatra within Cancer, so I'm kind of getting that energy as well, where you could, it's all about restriction and the snake. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm a Gemini and I saw snakes. Oh my gosh, so meditate on the snake. There's something about shedding skin in order to transmute that. And again, being the liberator. Okay, so wow, that was just like a major download for me. Maybe that was like resonating with you too. I'm also getting that reptilian energy with the Knight of Wands. And again, reptiles absorb the light of the sun, you know? And it's just a matter of how to get into a better alignment with that whole process. Check into your moon sign. See how that shows up in your life for sure. Because there is a new day waiting to dawn on you. The universe is waiting to prosper you with the Queen of Pentacles here, and to let you emerge wiser. So there's abundance all around you. There's stability all around you and inside of you. So that is what I have for you, Gemini. I hope that was helpful. If that was, and if it resonated with you, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys.